So I have recently done a video on the Jaecoo J7. Now this car has absolutely exploded onto the UK market in 2025, so much so that it has become the best-selling car in both September and October of this year. So I was very excited when I got this vehicle because this one is the plug-in hybrid and it is the most popular selling of the two different versions that are available. And why is that? Well, Jaecoo are offering what they call an SHS, a super hybrid system, and what that means is that you can use this car for 57 miles just purely on electric mode. And when it comes to a new energy vehicle, I think that in the UK that is the best and most preferred option. It gives you the ability to run the car in pure electric from Monday to Friday. Come the weekend, if you prefer to go a little bit further, you don't have to worry about electric charge points. You can then just use the HEV. So the car itself, it does start at £35,135, and the only additional thing that you can add on is the choice of colour. If you go for a different colour option than white, it's going to cost you additional £600. If you then like the two-tone with the black roof, that's going to cost you a further £600. So what do you get inside? Well, this model is slightly different to the 1.6 litre turbo petrol. Inside the cabin, it is a lot different with all the features, and I'll show you all of them further in this video. But as standard with the car, you're going to get a full panoramic roof, a sunroof, electric tailgate, self-opening and unlocking, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless charger, ventilated cool box, heads-up display. The list goes on. You've got heated seats in the front, ventilated seats in the front, all electric seats, and these seats are very, very comfortable. For this video, what I'm going to do is show you all around the outside of the car. I'll then go inside and show you all the differences from the petrol model. We'll then go on the drive so I can show you what it looks like from the driver position during the day, and I'll also do a little bit at night as well, so you can see all them fantastic ambient lights that you get in there too. From there, I'm going to jump inside of the car and show you in detail all of the entertainment system. So if you do have one of these cars or you have one on order, that might be valuable to watch so that you can get the best out of your Jaecoo J7. Now, if you do like this content, please hit like and subscribe. I'm going to be bringing a lot more of the Jaecoo brand to this channel. We will next be getting the Jaecoo J5, which has just been released in the UK and is a slightly smaller version of this car. They do also have that vehicle in a full electric mode, so I will be interested in showing you that too. With Jaecoo themselves, they are teamed up with Armada, and I am going to be showing you a lot of their content as well. Now, it does look a lot like a very familiar car that we have on the roads, of course, a Range Rover. It doesn't sit as tall, it's 1.9 metres and 4.5 metres long, and it offers a 500 litre boot capacity. But it does have a lot of similarities in terms of its looks. I think the Jaecoo designers, when they were designing this car, had a picture of the Range Rover next to them. And why is that so? Well, Jaecoo, the amalgamation of two words, one being Jaeger, which is hunter in German, and the second being cool. They're a sub-brand of a company called Chery, which is a huge manufacturer in the Chinese market. And Chery in 2012 signed a joint ventureship in order to produce Range Rovers in China. So if you're going back that far with a Chinese company, that Chinese company is going to have a baby, and this is what is going to be born. I have driven this car now for a couple of days and it handles absolutely fantastically on the road. So if you are comparing it to something like a Range Rover, a luxury SUV, it's a fraction of the price, but it doesn't compromise in the way that it drives. So now what I'm going to do next is just grab the camera, show you all around the outside of the vehicle, then we'll dive into the inside and then take it on a drive. So now I'm going to show you around all of the outside of the car, and it looks absolutely incredible. The car that I have today is in the Amazonite blue, which I think really suits the car quite well. Now, as you approach the vehicle, when you have the key in your pocket, it's automatically going to unlock like so. And with this car, funny enough, it doesn't have a start button. So as soon as you get in the car, you can then put it into drive. If you don't have your seatbelt on, however, it will apply the handbrake. So you do need to have your seatbelt on before you can drive. Now at the front, you've got this absolutely humongous Jaecoo grille with a big Jaecoo badge on the front there too, which gives it very Range Rover vibes. Underneath there, you've got a little camera, and that's part of the 540-degree camera system. Daytime running LEDs and headlights on the front there too. 19-inch Jaecoo alloy wheels, which suit the car really well. And with it being an SUV, it's got this plastic trim that runs around the wheel arches and across the bottom there. That gives it a nice compact SUV look. When you walk away from the car, it'll also self-lock and the wing mirrors will go in. And in terms of the wing mirrors, you've got this gloss black on the top and then silver here. I think that would have been nicer if it matched the paintwork. You've got the indicators running into the wing mirrors as well, and then this camera here is a part of the 540-degree camera system. The handles themselves, they'll come out and go in automatically when you come away and go up to the vehicle. When you start driving, as soon as you go over 5 miles per hour, they'll automatically shut in as well. Sun protection glass on the back and a huge panoramic roof, which I'll show you from the inside. You've got rails running across the top, which means you can have roof boxes fitted too. Now on the driver's side, this one is your electric point, so just simply press that one and it'll unlock. On top you've got your AC, so that's your charging that you're going to be using at home, and on the bottom you've got your DC, so that's for fast charging, and you'll see them chargers at motorway services. To close that, just give it a click and that'll shut off. You've got these nice little trim bits on here again, which give it that sort of Range Rover look. Coming round to the back, you've got a big LED bar running right across the back with your indicators built in. That looks fantastic at night time, is really bright on the road. With it being the plug-in hybrid model, you'll have this badge here indicating that it is a plug-in hybrid, and you do also have a large Jaecoo 7 badge on the back too. I have seen a lot of people with these cars, what they've done is they've debadged them 2 badges, they've put some black film on where the wing mirrors are, and basically that gives it a nice sporty look as well. Now on this side, you can't open this cap until you press a button inside, which I'll show you where that is in a moment, but that's your petrol side on the passenger side of the car. Coming round to the side, exactly the same on this one. It gives it a nice SUV look. It does look very Range Rover-y in parts, but all in all, the car looks absolutely incredible. I really like the Amazonite blue. The pearl silver looks great as well, but my favourite personally is the all black. So what I'm going to do now is just jump into the inside of the car and show you all of the features that it has to offer. With this vehicle, like I said, there is no start-stop button, and it does have one in the petrol. There is a lot of differences, a lot more room in this one where they've designed it. So I'm going to show you all of the features inside, so let's take a look. Now just quickly, before we go on to the next section to self-promote, I do actually work at a main dealership for all of the cars that are shown on this channel. So if you'd like to work with a familiar face or someone that really cares about the product, then please feel free to text me on this number just here, or you can email me on this email address right here. I do make all of these videos on my day off, even in the freezing cold. So if you'd like to work with me with someone who cares about the product, then feel free to reach out. We are a main dealer, so we do offer part exchange and also nationwide delivery. But now that I've sold my soul, let's move straight into the next section of this video. So let's start with the boot. Now obviously if you're going with the Jaecoo J7, it is electric both up and down. There is a button up top here to operate that, or you can do it off the key. You can also set the height as well in the multimedia screen of how far up you want that boot to open. In terms of storage space, you've got 500 litres, and that's the same across all 3 trims. Inside you've got a parcel shelf, which is as boring as they are. This one's a little bit different, so basically you can pull it out like so and it'll act like a normal parcel shelf. However, you've got these clips here, and what they do is they clip onto these parts here, and when you do that you can then use this parcel shelf as a projector screen too. So really cool of Jaecoo to do that. There's plenty of little clips around here to hold cargo nets and different things, and a 12 volt up here too. So in terms of boot size, very decent from Jaecoo, and offering that projector screen is something a little bit different as well. In terms of the space in the back, like I said, with the Chinese market, they do offer more space in the back of the car. So jumping in here, the seats are very comfortable. There's loads of room in here, and in the front you've got pocket space for like notepads and your mobile phone. You've got USB-A and USB-C just down there too. You've got ambient lighting that runs right through, and you can't really see that very well because it's daytime, but on the night drive you'll see it very clearly. You do also have this here, which is the ability to move the passenger seat from the back. You can adjust it like so. So the idea of that is if you, I don't know, putting like a baby seat in here and it's a little bit too far back, rather than climbing out and moving around, you just operate it like so from there. You've got an absolutely huge panoramic roof in this car, and it comes right behind the passenger's head, so you can see clearly right out of it for both the front and rear passengers. There's loads of natural light coming in as well. You've got little windows here in the back, and there's just a lot of natural light, which gives it a nice big SUV feel. Coming round to the front, the driver position, this is the most important part. So down here you've got electric seats, and you'll note that the seats move when I open the door. They then, when you close the door, move back to its original position, and this goes up and down, left and right. This is for your back, and then this is for lumbar support as well, which is really important on them long journeys. You've also got a lot of space down here, so this is where it differs in the petrol model. So this one gives you more space. You've got a USB-A and a USB-C down there as well. I'm not going to dive too much into the inside because I'm going to do that later in this video and show you all the different buttons and what this car has and all the different symbols and what this car has to offer. But in terms of storage space, that's your little ventilated fridge there as well. Very deep and made out of good material. The car does feel quality. There's lots of good materials used and everything feels very well put together. On here as well, you've got your heads-up display, your wireless phone charger, which is also ventilated down there too. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the car for a drive. I'm going to stick this camera to the panoramic roof, take it for a drive and show you exactly what it looks like from the driver position. From there, I'll jump into this entertainment system. Hopefully my hands have warmed up then, and I'll be able to show you everything that this Jaecoo J7 has to offer. So this is what the car looks like driving at night time, and I just thought I'd show you this little section just so you can get a feel as to how it looks in the driver position during the night, because it does look really good. The lights are really good in terms of the headlights. They show up a lot of the road. Obviously you're sat at a high up position with it being an SUV, so you get a good view of the road as well. The heads-up display is very clear too, so that's a nice little feature that it has. I'm a big fan of the Jaecoo J7's heads-up display. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And then all the ambient lighting as well, it gives it a nice feel inside. So with that, if you just click this little vehicle down here, you can go into the ambient light on the section on the side here, and then you can change it to whatever colour you want. But I think it looks really cool at night time. It's sort of a bit relaxing, to be honest with you. And as a little tip when you're driving, if the car is beeping at you, and I will show you this in a little bit more detail, but just while you're getting a little bit of the nighttime drive, I'll show you. Just swipe down on here. This one here, you want to click it until the speaker symbol has gone away, and that's going to stop the car from beeping at you if you're going over the speed limit. And then this one here, if that's blue, it means that the lane departure system is on. And with all new cars in the UK, they're automatically on every single time you turn the car on. So if you want that off, just swipe down, press it, and then it'll give you this, and that says that it's going to come back on when you turn the car back on. So just click OK. The only last thing on there is the DMS. Again, that's going to be on as standard every time you turn the car on, and it's not a Jaecoo thing, it is just a car brand in the UK thing. So with that, if you want it off, again, just click it and it's going to tell you that it'll come back on next time you start the car. So that means that the car won't beep at you if you're speeding. The lane assist isn't going to be aggressive or isn't going to be there as such. And also, if you are feeling tired or you're looking not at the road as much as you should do, then the infrared system isn't going to monitor you and tell you off for doing so. So a couple of little tips which I'll go into in a little bit more detail later. But this is mainly just so you can see how it looks at night time, because I think it is best in the night, this car. It looks really, really nice, both looking at the car from the outside and sitting inside and driving it as well. So now let's jump into the inside of the Jaecoo J7, and what I'm going to do is show you all of the different buttons in this car and all what they do, and then ultimately I'm going to show you everything on the entertainment system. They can be a little bit daunting and look complicated, but this one is really easy to use, and I'm going to show you how to set it up to the best ability. So in terms of the J7, it is very different in this one being a plug-in, so your gear selector is on the right hand side here, very, very Mercedes. But all you're going to do to operate that is foot on the brake, down for drive, up for reverse, and you'll see that your cameras come on like so. Neutral is halfway from where you've been, so if you're up, you want to come down halfway and let go, and then for drive to neutral, halfway up and let go. To park, you're just going to press this button on the end here, so it's basically the same as Mercedes. Down to the right, you've got your petrol release cap just here, and the petrol cap is on the left hand side, the passenger side of the car, and this one is your boot operation. This is just a light section, but obviously if you just set them to auto, it'll just do it all itself. If you want to release the bonnet catch, it's just down here. Pull this twice, and that's going to release the bonnet. In terms of the steering wheel itself, you've got a lovely Jaecoo badge here, and then you've got the infrared driver warning system here too. One thing that I think Jaecoo could have done a little bit better, even though there isn't many of them, is this section here. So on here, this is all one plastic unit, and I think if they just made them individual buttons, it would have been a lot nicer. But in terms of what these buttons do, so you've got volume up and down just here, and that is the only volume switch as well, so that is another thing. Then you've got the channels left and right, or skip songs left and right. This one's to talk to the car, so you can basically press that and ask the car to, I don't know, open the pan roof or turn your heated steering wheel on, and it'll do that for you. It's a voice assistant. Now this one's quite a good button, so that's your favourite one, and what you can do with that is set it to whatever you like. So press and hold that button in, and what it'll do is bring up this screen here, and when you select an option on here, that means that that button is going to operate that command. So let's say we want to set it to steering wheel heating because it's freezing, and basically that's now set. So if I press this button just once, that's going to turn on my heated steering wheel just like so. So that's a handy little button to have, and you can set it to multiple different things so that you can choose whichever your favourite is.
This one is your limiter and cruise control. To set your limiter and cruise control, you're going to press this one. It'll then give you the information on the driver display here. And this one is your assisted steering. So if you don't like lane assist, you will hate this. Basically what it does is it assists your steering, and it's useful for long journeys on motorways or A roads. It's basically going to steer the car for you between the lines, and you just got to hold your hand slightly on the steering wheel. So it might not seem like a good thing, but it's quite helpful on long journeys. This button is to operate different things on the system in front. So things like your adaptive cruise control, what it'll do is it'll give you this little gauge here, and that's how far or close you are to the car in front when your car will speed up. So with adaptive cruise control, the car, when you set it to 50 mile an hour, it'll stay at 50, but if the car in front slows down to 40, it will also slow your car down to 40 without having to touch the brake. When that car then speeds up to 50, well, there you go, it's going to speed up to 50 itself. On the right hand side, with it being the plug-in hybrid, you've got your battery level just here. This is your power usage, miles per hour. It's in HEV mode at the moment, and then you've got your fuel gauge just down to the bottom left as well. You've got a heads-up display in front. Hopefully you can make that out. That's in white at the minute. You can change it to blue, and it's a very intelligent system that they've got. So not only does it provide mile per hour, it'll give you a little car symbol on there as well, and it'll tell you when cars are coming up beside you, and give you like orange lights to let you know. And that's partly used in conjunction with the blind spot assistant, which is in your mirror just there. Now coming down to this side, we've got your wireless phone charger. That is a 50-watt wireless phone charger, and it's got a built-in fan unit there. I would have preferred it to be on this side, because this side is just a sort of slot for your phone rather than a charger. But anyway, you've got a wireless charger there, and then this is a slot for another phone. In here you've got a couple of cup holders, and they're all made with really good material. Down below, plenty of storage there. I think I've shown you that on the interior before, but loads of storage, USB-A, USB-C as well. Now the buttons on here and what they do, what I'm going to do is just show you each of these. So auto, what that is auto hold. So basically when you come up to the lights and you go fully on the brake and then come off the brake, if this is lit up or you have it lit up, then the car won't move until you go on the accelerator. If you don't have it lit up and you have to have your belt on to operate this button, what will happen is when you come off of the brake, your car will slowly move forward automatically. Your mode button here, that's going to change your modes, and in this car you've got normal mode, which I like the best, you've got your sport mode, and you've got your eco. It will change it quite drastically for each different mode. So in sport mode, your suspension's going to tighten up, your handling's going to be a bit tighter, etc, etc. You will use more fuel in sport mode rather than eco mode, but my favourite position so far has just been normal. This is just to lock your doors. There's your hazard lights, and then you've got EV and HEV. So what you can do is choose to have either HEV, hybrid electric vehicle, or EV, which is electric vehicle. So basically when your battery's at a certain percentage, you can run the car in full electric vehicle or hybrid electric vehicle if you want to use the engine. So if you don't touch these, it doesn't matter, the car's just going to do it itself, so don't worry about it too much. Some people might find this useful, so when they go on a motorway, straight into HEV, and then when they come back into a town environment, straight into EV mode and run it on the electric battery. You've got a nice bit of storage in here too, and that is ventilated, so it's not electronic, but basically what it's doing is blowing cold air into this little cabin here. So if you put like, I don't know, a bottle of Coke or something in there, it's going to keep it nice and cold on the longer journey. So it's a nice little feature that they didn't really have to add, but they did anyway. This selector here is just all about your indicators and your wipers as well. Can't really see that too well there, but once they're set, you don't need to do anything with them. So just set them to automatic, turn them to on or off, and you don't need to do anything. That's both front and back wipers. So now diving into the main screen, and this can look quite daunting, but it's not that difficult to use. So if you ever get lost, just press this house down here. That's going to take you to the home screen. There's two home screens. You can either have your apps across the bottom here, or you can have your apps on the main screen in front. Now this one's going to take you to vehicle settings, and we'll go through that at the end. Back to the house, if we go down here, it's got dual climate. So if I change the temperature on here, it's going to change both. But if I change it on this side, it's just going to change the passenger side. If we press the fan unit, it's going to bring up this slidey bar here, so you can change the temperature on the driver and the passenger side. You've then got your heated steering wheel. Remember, you can only get this in the luxury model, so you will get a heated steering wheel as standard. If we press on seats at the top, that's then going to give us heated seats just up here. Heated for both the driver and the passenger. But one of the funny things with this car is, in the 1.6 litre petrol luxury model, you get heated seats in the rear, but in the plug-in hybrid, you don't, which is weird. You do also get ventilated seats as well, so in the summer you can blow basically cold air onto yourself, keep you nice and cool. And then you've got air purification as well. So these little signs here, 2.5 is basically whatever measurement it is for the air purification, which is apparently excellent. And if you click this one here, it's going to purify the cabin. If you do go into an area where the air quality is very, very poor, it'll come up on the screen, it'll say poor air quality, and it'll start the air purification itself already. So it's not too relevant in the UK, but it's a nice little thing to have. Now, in terms of this one here, that is your media section. So from there you can choose either USB, radio or Bluetooth. And I know these cars have had problems with the digital radio. They are going to do updates over the air to improve that or fix it. So I'm sure that'll be fixed shortly. But a lot of people do just use the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. In terms of this button down to the bottom left, all that's going to do is bring up all the pages that you've been on, and you can swipe them away. Just think of it like a tablet. You can just swipe them away like so. Or quickly maneuver between each app that you've got open. Then you've got your main apps on the front here. Now this one is just your map software settings. This one is actually your nav, and with this being a demo, we haven't set up the SIM card yet, so it isn't working on there. But it has got built-in navigation. It is linked to Google Maps, so it gives it a really good quality of navigation. If there's roadworks on, etc., it will tell you on there. Your media section here, again, that's just that button down on the bottom bar, but a physical button in the middle, and that gives you access to different media options. Your phone button, of course, that's going to bring up your Apple CarPlay. So basically with that, that's going to straight away bring up your contacts. Probably shouldn't put everyone on there, but anyway. So then moving back from the Apple CarPlay, I'll jump into that in a second. You've got your settings. So your settings is just the same as this car button down here. A round view monitor, so that's going to bring up all of your cameras. You've got a bird's eye view just here. How this works, a lot of people get a bit confused of how it works, but you've got several cameras around the car, and what it does, it uses them cameras to create an image. So the computer creates an image through the pictures that it's got to create a bird's eye view. With that, you can then click around the car like so. So back, front, left and right. And when you're in the front and you're in drive, it'll bring up the steering wheel as well. And also it does it for the rear too. And as you approach, I'll just quickly show you, as you approach, I am on with them plants, as you approach, it will bring up these green bars, and as you get closer and closer, them bars will then go to amber and red. It'll also do a lot of beeping as well. So coming out with the camera and moving on, you've got a member section, so you can join the Jaecoo membership if you wish to do so. A gallery, so what you can do with the USB is insert that and then upload pictures, and then from them pictures you can set them as the backgrounds. You've got your manual built in, and then you've got your assistant as well. So with your assistant you can change like the wake word for that, and also you've got the karaoke function, and in China they love the karaoke, so that's why it's in most of their cars. In terms of Apple CarPlay, just pair your phone up to the Bluetooth. It happens straight away. It's very, very quick, and this is your Apple CarPlay. The system is very responsive. Obviously you've got your Apple Maps on there, and then if you click this little section down to the bottom right, that's going to bring up all of the apps that you have on your phone that are compatible with the car. So things like TalkSport are compatible, but I might have other apps on there that aren't showing because they're not compatible with the car. So most people do just use the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto. It does make it a lot easier to use when you're just using your phone for things. Android Auto is exactly the same. To set that up, all you're going to do is click on phone, go to Bluetooth and pair it up from there. So jumping into the settings side, easiest way to operate this is down the left hand side you've got all your sections, so you can click through them and change everything. So quickly going through them, you've got quick controls up here which gives you access to tailgate, door locks. All of these buttons on here you've got physical buttons for, so I don't think it's very useful because you've got the physical buttons for every option on here anyway, but there it is. Your new energy, that's going to show you how much percentage of battery you've got, and then you can schedule your charging in this point here as well. So basically what that means, if you schedule it, is if you've got cheaper charging during a certain period of time in the night, like most people do on UK tariffs, you can set the car to charge from 12 to 5 AM. Plug your car in when you get home at 8 o'clock at night, it won't start charging till 12. Then you've got different modes here, so this part is very, very important. If you're new to hybrid vehicle, with the super hybrid system. What this does is basically you can set it to do it itself, which is smart mode, or you can force the engine to kick in. So what I'm doing here is changing the battery percentage for when the engine kicks in. My advice is, if you're not going to charge this car, leave it as high as possible. So as soon as you get to 80%, the hybrid energy system is going to kick in, your engine's going to kick in and start topping up the battery. If you are plugging it in every single day, then put it down to as low as possible. And what that means is when you get in the car, it's going to start in EV mode, and then from there it will continue to be in EV mode until you hit 30%. Once it hits 30%, engine kicks in, starts helping the battery. So it's quite an important part of this car. If you don't plug it in, put it on 80. If you do, put it on 30, or do it however you'd like to do it yourself. Then you've got vehicle settings, and on there you can change how far the tailgate opens up, like so, wiper sensitivity, and a whole bunch of different options as well in terms of like wireless charging. So you can customize the vehicle how you want, but for me, like, you're going to leave them settings on. You're not going to turn your wireless charger off. I don't think anyone would want to do that. Heads up display, you can turn that off if you don't like it, but I really do like it. And once you've had a heads up display, it's hard to come out of one. It just projects your speed up on the screen there, like I've shown you before. You can change the brightness of that. If it is too bright, you can also heighten or lower it on here too. Your snow mode, that's going to change it from white to blue. So if you can make that out on there, that's now gone blue. And the idea of that is obviously when it's snowing, you'll be able to see it still. But if you just prefer it in blue, you can do that. Driver assistance. Now this part is very complex. It's got a lot of driver assistance, this car, and it can be quite annoying. One of the things with this car is the lane assist. It's quite strong, and I'm going to show you a quick way to turn that off. You can turn it off in here, but I'm going to show you a quick way in just a moment. Ambient lighting, I'll show you this on the night drive so you can see exactly what it looks like. Couple of options here. So you've got all these colours that you can choose from, brightness that you can choose from, and then down here you've got link to driving mode. So if you have it in eco, it's going to be green. If you have it in sport, it's going to be red, and if you have it in normal, I believe it's going to be blue. Then you've got rhythm music. So what that does is it basically makes the ambient lighting go with the rhythm of the music. So if you're playing very fast music, the ambient lighting goes a bit crazy. Vehicle comfort, you've got 3 different driver positions here. So what you can do is set up a driver position for your vehicle. So if you've got 2 drivers or 3 drivers and we all sit at different heights and different settings on the driver's seat, you can change them, hit save, and save it to the position. Bluetooth to set up your phone. You can connect the car to your Wi-Fi if you wish to do so, to do updates. And then for your display, you can have light mode, dark mode, or auto. So basically the dark mode is just at night time. It's going to turn it into like a blacker background to sort of not blind you basically. So the best thing to do with that is keep it on auto. During the daytime it'll be nice and bright and light, and during the night it'll go into dark mode. You can then change the brightness of the screen, and the instrument cluster is just this one here. Then you've got your settings. So in your system settings, this is where you can have a look at all your settings in terms of, is it displaying miles per hour, kilometers, your tire pressure, what they're setting them up as. So that's quite a handy one just to make sure it's all correct in the settings. Now a good thing about this car is the quick options. So what you can do, which is very important, and I like to highlight this one, is you can swipe down and it gives you quick options. And these are very important because, like I said before, the car does have a lot of safety features. So it will bing at you when you go over the speed limit. Not that you should do so, but if you do, it's going to start binging at you. Also, the lane assist is quite strong. So first thing I do when I get in the car, get in, put my seatbelt on, swipe down at the top here, and then I can turn these settings off by simply pressing that button there. That's going to take off my speed limit assist, so it's not going to beep at me when I go over a speed limit. If I press this one here, it's then going to bring up this box, and that's a lane departure, so the lane assist system. And the reason it's bringing up that box is because when it's not blue, it's grey, it means it's not on, but it will turn on every single time you get in the car. And that's not a Jaecoo thing, it is just a new car thing in the UK. So if you get a new car in 2025 in the UK, it will automatically have lane assist on every single time you turn the car on. So the ability to have this quick setting to turn it off is quite a handy one. And then this is the driver distraction. Again, same thing on this distraction part here. So if you don't want it to tell you off for being tired or not looking at the road, which you shouldn't be and shouldn't be doing, then you can turn it off just here. So the first thing that I do when I get in this car is I swipe it down, I turn off the speed limit, I turn off the lane departure, swipe it back down, I turn off the distraction monitor. So that's quite a handy little thing to note on there. The last thing I'm going to show you is just how to operate the pan roof. So on this side here, just one little click, that is then going to take your pan roof back roughly halfway, like so. And then if we give it a second click, had to get the camera right on this. It's going to bring it back all the way to the back behind the passenger's head, and it's absolutely huge, this pan roof. And then on the passenger side, that one is your sunroof. So again, just hold that one in, and that one's going to open your sunroof. It's absolutely freezing, so I don't really want this open, but in the summer that's going to come in super handy. Let a lot of fresh air into the cabin. The last little thing to note up here is if you're in an emergency, you've got an emergency button here, and that is going to contact emergency services. So that's the end of this video. I hope you liked it. The car is absolutely fabulous. I've drove it for a couple of days now. Fuel economy is incredible. It drives really nicely. It's got everything you could ask for in terms of like luxury things, your heads-up display, wireless charge. You know, I can keep going on about how much this car has to offer, but for the price point, there is not a better car on the road in my opinion. So thanks for watching. If you like this content, then really helps out if you like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel so that I get the cars the best as quickly as I can. The next video is going to be, I believe, on the J5. So I look forward to seeing you in that video.